Hi there, Maria here. I am making an ink blot journal today. I got all excited about trying to use some paint and make some ink blots. The idea is not mine. I saw a video made by Jenny Belly where she had made this type of art and used in her art journal. So I pulled out my craft paints and some dimensional paint and some metallic paints and scrapbook papers, and I went to town. Look how pretty. Should have stopped where I was better before, but still, look how gorgeous that turns out. So I used different colored paper just to see how it would turn out. This is all scrapbook paper with patterns. It gets a little messy if I get too much paint on there. Look how gorgeous. It's like a butterfly or a inside of a flower. It's of course very easy to make, and I can use the elements in my art journaling, and it doesn't have to be the whole piece. I could cut out small sections and use what I need. So I decided to make up a bunch of them since I had all the paints out. The creases came out so pretty. Every single time they came out pretty. Look at that. It's like an insect. I love it. Here I had regular printing paper. I wanted to see how that would hold up. I found that the cheapest craft paints that I had made the best strings of paint. Look how pretty. Rather than big globs of paint. So try and get the paint to be more stringy. Then I decided to make a journal. So then I tried to decide whether I liked the creases lengthwise or on the like from top to bottom, and decided that I love all the creases and I didn't want to lose them in the bookmaking part. So I was gonna do a long one, and the cover I had made didn't really work that way. So I decided to use the manila folder and lengthwise papers. No, it's a bit of an awkward size, but it would fit pretty much any purse. And if you want to take it some for traveling, it's a great size actually. And there it is. Good part about manila folders, they are sturdy and they already come with a perfect crease. I decided to use some cardstock to fill in, just to have some blank pages with the journal. And I'm using a bone folder to make sure I get really good creases, sharp creases and perfect corners. Then I had those had been folded several times and they were a little bit uneven, so I used the clips to hold them perfectly square, and my bone folder. Look how pretty that is. I had some bronze paint and love the color combination. Cardstock is good. It won't hold up as well as watercolor paper, but it's pretty strong. Here, that's the cover I have decided to use. And since it's gonna be in a different format, I decided to cut it down and use part of it on the manila folder so that I could get the most out of the pattern. That was also heavy duty scrapbooking paper I used. You see the white spots there? That was actually paper that lifted off when I pulled the ink blot paint apart, which showed it was a pretty weak paper, but I like the effect of the white and the torn paper. Then I decided I did not like the yellow edges, so I took some turquoise paint and uh, started rubbing that on with a baby wipe to tone down the edges. But it ended up still pretty strong, so I decided to put some blue over that, and I just kind of wiped everything around. I didn't care if it didn't cover 100%. It just gave it some more interest. The cool thing about paper, you can pretty much do anything you want with it. Put the colors on, you glue things on, put papers together. I love it. So there it is, and here I'm trying to figure out how to put the signature together. It's just one signature, but quite a few pages. So I wanted the little guy in the middle. Look, he was so cute. There's another one, but I realized it was too small. There's a cat's face. That was the printing paper. I love that color combination. And that is kind of cosmic. They look like kaleidoscope pictures. And now comes the time to glue the cover onto the cover. I used Mod Podge and made sure I put it on both sides, and especially around the edges to make sure that the top part would lie flat and no bubbles, and also that the edges would not lift off the backing later. Enough glue is important to make a piece look good and solid. And there it is. I was really happy with it. Not like any journal I've done in the past. And here I'm putting all the papers together, trying to see which is the most harmonious combination. I decided not to put the printer paper, it's just too weak. I got quite a few pages. I didn't count how many, but uh, there's plenty for journaling. And then to make sure they are lined up completely. And especially with the cover. I did make the cover slightly bigger. And I'm trying to get the crease perfect. And here I'm marking where the holes are going to go. I am making 4 holes. Make sure that that little guy gets attached correctly. It's important to get it right so that it comes out solid. Um, when you put the thread through the back, if it's not aligned, it's not going to look right. So I'm using clips here, heavy duty clips, to hold everything together. And I have an awl that I use to make holes, but you could use a nail and a hammer or something sharp like the points of very sharp scissors to get the holes that you need. And here I had to line up the little guy here and get the hole aligned with um, the rest of the journal. It takes a bit of elbow grease to punch through all those layers, but it's not too bad. Nail and hammer would probably be the easiest way. I decided here to use some hemp cord that I have. I'm going to use a pink one. Hemp is strong. It's a little bit rough, but I wanted something sturdy that would really hold it together. I'm using a big darning needle with a big eye, and I'm going in from the outside, going in and out through all the holes. And then coming back and doing the same on the outside. So I'm pulling the thread tight here, and it's important that it is tight but not too tight. But you don't want some big loop. So if you keep pulling tight for every stitch, it turns out beautiful. And here I'm in the same hole, so I'm going through on the inside around the previous loop to fasten the thread so that I can make knots on the outside. And I had some leftover end of the string, and I found a charm in the shape of a teapot. So I thought that would be cute. I just thread it on the string here and make a knot to hold it um, there. And then, and that was pretty much it. I decided to put a big button and some string to hold it from the back with staples. And there it is. Thank you.